Good morning. I'm Natalie with KQNK. Today is Wednesday, May 15th. Currently, with mostly cloudy skies, it is 55 degrees. The humidity is 88%. The wind speed is northwest at 6 miles per hour. The barometric pressure is 29.88. The dew point is 52 degrees, and the current wind chill is 54 degrees. It's 7:04 and time for Kansas News.
Kansas Information Network News, I'm Jen Austin. An Overland Park man is alive after a close call. Roxanne Stewart has more.
Fire crews were called to a construction site near 131st and Goodman Street in Overland Park Tuesday morning to find a workman buried up to his waist in a trench about 15 feet down. Boards and other equipment were used to reinforce the sides of the excavation while crews dug the man free with hand shovels. He was conscious and alert and was able to walk out of the trench with help. He was transported to a local hospital for treatment. I'm Roxanne Stewart.
A ransomware attack on the Ascension Health System operating in Kansas and 18 other states forced some of its 140 hospitals to divert ambulances, caused patients to postpone medical tests, and blocked online access to patient records. All Ascension hospitals and clinics are open and operational, but it will take time to fully get up to speed. The Hutchinson Post said if any rescheduling is necessary, the hospital will contact you. This is Kansas Information Network News.
Getting ready to take on spring? Make your first move with the reliable performance and power of Steel battery tools. From hedge trimmers and mowers to string trimmers and more, save on select Steel battery tools. Right now, save $50 on the FSA 57 battery trimmer set. Real Steel. Find yours at steeldealers.com. With AK10 battery and AL101 charger. Offer valid for a limited time only while supplies last. See participating dealer for details.
I'm Chris Jakomick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the...
Good morning. I'm Natalie Hadley with your KQNK News, brought to you by Edward Jones Investments. Philip Eisenhagen is your financial advisor here in Norton. On Tuesday, Governor Kelly signed House Bill 2536, establishing the Support, Opportunity, Unity, and Legal or Sole Family Permanency option for children aging out of the state's foster care system. Governor Kelly said the changes they've made to Kansas's child welfare system have been significant, and the sole family permanency is another example of this. She said it's a tool that they can use to ensure Kansas foster children aging out of the system grow into the next phase of their life, finish their education, settle into jobs, and become contributing members of their community. Sole family is a fourth pathway for teens 16 or older in foster care to obtain legal permanency and transition into adulthood through a custodian of their choice. Previously, young people in custody of the Kansas Department for Children and Families had 3 pathways for permanency, which is a term for a legally recognized family-like relationship, and those pathways were adoption, reintegration, and appointment of a custodian. Now, teens 16 and older can choose a person or a group of people they trust to help raise them as they enter adulthood. While adoption, reunification, and guardianship provide family for many use, those pathways don't always meet the needs of others. So stakeholders and those with lived experience in the foster care system testified to the need for the sole family permanency option, and Kansas is the first state in the country to sign the sole family permanency option into law. The Department for Children and Families is currently working on the implementation process, which includes building the criteria, practices, resources, benefits, and administrative structures to best support the safety and well-being of young people transitioning from foster care into court-approved legal sole families. This fourth permanency option is expected to be available to young people in foster care this summer. The Kansas Department of Health and Environment has announced the selection of 3 managed care organizations, or MCOs, that will serve the Kansas Medicaid program, known as KQNK, from January 1st, 2025 to December 31st, 2027. And the KQNK program currently serves 458,000 individuals throughout the state. The contracts include 2 incumbents, Sunflower Health Plan and United Healthcare Community Plan, and one new organization, Healthy Blue. The MCOs were selected from a pool of 7 candidates who submitted bids during the request for proposal process that began in October 2023 and concluded on Tuesday. Some of the key improvements in the new contracts include educating, engaging, incentivizing, and empowering members to achieve personally defined health goals, enhancing care coordination to ensure timely access to needed services, continuity of care, successful care transitions, and improve member outcomes, improving prenatal and postpartum care, including requirements for maternity care coordination, increasing the recruitment and retention of providers, and expanding access to services in rural and frontier areas. The selection process was extensive and included a multi-step review conducted by several teams of staff members with subject matter expertise, experience in, and knowledge of the Kansas Medicaid system. Stakeholders included plan members, providers, legislators, and community-based organizations, which all provided input. At this time, current KQNK members don't need to take any action. Members who are currently enrolled in the MCO that was not selected will be contacted soon about their options to select another MCO. Recently, Governor Kelly signed a law aimed at protecting your child's health at school. The new law would require parental consent before a school could provide a minor with health care services, and that means a school nurse could not give prescription or non-prescription drugs to a minor without their parents' approval. And this also applies to behavioral health treatment and other medical tests. In addition to the school health care bill, there are 2 other measures targeting health care changes. The first forbids hospitals and other facilities from isolating patients receiving end-of-life care from visits by relatives, and this combats previous policies during the COVID-19 pandemic. The second measure allows first responders and school nurses to distribute Narcan to reverse an overdose, and this provision comes as the state fights the ongoing fentanyl crisis. Finally, Kansas now has another alert plan for a specific group of missing people. Governor Kelly signed a bill establishing the Purple Alert Plan, and this is an alert system for missing people with intellectual disabilities. It would operate similar to the Amber Alert for missing children and the Silver Alert for senior citizens, and the plan should go into effect on July 1st. In Nebraska news, 35-year-old Anthony Madison was arraigned on Tuesday in Clay County Court after being accused of killing a Columbus woman in 2022. Judge Michael Burns set his bond at $2 million. Madison would have to pay $200,000 to be released, and he's already in state prison on different charges. According to the arrest affidavit, on October 5th, 2022, the body of 25-year-old Jasmine Garnett was found along a rural road near Harvard, which is about 20 miles east of Hastings, and she had a gunshot wound to her head. Court documents allege that Madison, who was on parole at the time, picked up Garnett in Columbus in a stolen Pontiac Firebird early in the morning of September 17th. And about 3 hours later, 5 gunshots were recorded on surveillance video in Harvard. Garnett's blood was found inside the Firebird, and last month, Madison was charged with first-degree murder in her death. He's also being tried in Adams County on charges of attempted second-degree murder and attempted first-degree assault on an officer, and police said he shot at officers in Hastings 10 days after Garnett was killed. According to state court records, Madison's criminal history dates back to when he was 11, and he's now on his 4th prison sentence. 2 Grand Island residents face multiple charges after a search of a home found numerous drugs. 34-year-old Brandon Bahinsky and 24-year-old Lydia Lager have been charged in Hall County Court with 6 counts of possession of drugs, methamphetamine, cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, marijuana, and psilocybin mushrooms, and 1 count of possession of a deadly weapon during the commission of a felony. According to the arrest affidavit, at around 4:45 p.m. on Monday, members of the Tri-Cities Drug Enforcement Team served a search warrant at a residence in the 800 block of West 12th Street in Grand Island, and a search of the home found a 9mm Glock handgun with 11 rounds of ammunition, more than 200 grams of methamphetamine, more than 30 grams of psilocybin mushrooms, more than 50 grams of cocaine, more than 20 grams of heroin, more than 100 grams of marijuana, 4 scales, $1,044 in drug money, and numerous pipes, bongs, and straws. Bahinsky and Lager were arrested and booked into the Hall County Jail, and they were set to be arraigned in Hall County Court on Tuesday. A Nebraska man is behind bars after police say he drove a stolen car, ran away from police, and hit a restaurant employee. Grand Island Police reported that officers responded to a report of a stolen vehicle at around 5:45 p.m. on Saturday evening, and when they arrived, officers said Eric Loya ran away from the car and into La Flor, a restaurant and grocery store on 4th Street. In the restaurant, Loya hit an employee with his body and ran into the bathroom, and officers then forced the door open and arrested Loya. Officers reported that he resisted arrest in the bathroom and continued to resist by refusing to walk to the police cruiser and used his feet to stop officers from closing the cruiser doors. Police said the vehicle was confirmed to be stolen from Hastings, and there were several open alcohol containers in the car. Loya has been lodged in the Hall County Detention Center for theft by receiving stolen property, 2 counts of resisting arrest, obstruction, third-degree assault, and open alcohol container. I'll be back with more in just a moment.
Do you move to the sidelines when stocks are predicted to drop? Are you waiting for some of today's uncertainties to be resolved before you invest? Hi, I'm Philip Eisenhagen, your Norton Edward Jones financial advisor. The problem with trying to time the market is you can miss some of the best days in the market. The truth is, attempting to time the market has historically reduced investor returns rather than raised them. A good financial advisor can set you up with a consistent and smart investing strategy. Contact me today at 785-877-3373. Edward Jones, Making Sense of Investing. Member SIPC.
Fort Hays State University earned the renewal of its 5-year United States Distance Learning Association, or USDLA, Quality Standards Certification. The announcement of the recertification comes after an extensive 91-point quality review self-inspection and a site visit by a team of USDLA examiners. USDLA's Standards of Practice Recertification Evaluation focused on Fort Hays State University's online administrative, student support, infrastructure, leadership, management, and teaching and learning practices. Fort Hays State University Assistant Vice President for Enrollment Leadership, Dennis King, welcomed the 5-year recertification, saying the USDLA is a rigorous certification that Fort Hays State University is committed to because it helps set a high standard for their offerings, and they're pleased to be one of the few institutions in the nation that meets the rigorous quality standards. The USDLA team's 2-day site visit included meetings with more than 30 Fort Hays State University faculty, staff, and students, including executive and student affairs leadership, the university's Teaching, Innovation, and Learning Technologies team, Fort Hays State University online staff and students, Forsyth Library staff, academic department chairs, deans, and the university marketing group. Fort Hays State University Online Director Kayla Hickel found the process served as a well-deserved recognition for the talented people at Fort Hays State University who deliver world-class online learning experiences. On Tuesday, U.S. Senator Jerry Moran of Kansas, the ranking member of the Senate Veterans Affairs Committee, joined House and Senate committees on Veterans Affairs leaders, Congressman Mike Bost of Illinois and Senator John Tester of Montana, to unveil H.R. 8371, the Senator Elizabeth Dole 21st Century Veterans Healthcare and Benefits Improvement Act. This legislation includes a number of bipartisan and bicameral proposals to reform and improve the delivery of health care, benefits, and services at the Department of Veterans Affairs, or VA, for veterans, their families, and their survivors. Senator Moran stated that the Senator Elizabeth Dole 21st Century Veterans Health Care and Benefits Improvement Act will make critical changes to the VA and provide life-saving support to veterans, caregivers, and survivors across the country. He said this legislation will improve access to health care and benefits, expand long-term care programs, and make it easier for veterans struggling with mental health and addiction to get needed treatment. In addition, it strengthens support for veteran caregivers in honor of a caregiver and honorary Kansas Senator, Elizabeth Dole. As the weather has gotten warmer, motorists can expect an increase in motorcycle traffic. And with May being Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month, the Kansas Department of Transportation and the Drive to Zero Coalition wants to emphasize that cooperation from all road users will help reduce the number of fatalities and injuries on the state's highways. Preliminary 2023 Kansas crash data shows there were 14 fatalities and 40 fatal crashes involving motorcycles, and this represents a downward trend in motorcycle deaths in the state since 2020, when 65 people died in 62 fatal crashes. However, the goal is to avoid crashes altogether, and this requires both vehicles, drivers, and motorcyclists to pay close attention to the road and their surroundings while following traffic safety laws. The Motorcycle Safety Awareness Month campaign aims to increase awareness and promote safety measures for motorcyclists and motorists alike. And the Kansas Department of Transportation and the Drive to Zero Coalition emphasize the importance of being attentive and alert to the presence of motorcycles on city, urban, and rural streets and highways. In accordance with Executive Order 2030, Governor Kelly has directed that flags throughout the state of Kansas to be flown at half-staff from sunup to sundown today, Wednesday, May 15th, to honor Peace Officers Memorial Day. Peace Officers Memorial Day pays tribute to local, state, and federal peace officers who have died or been disabled in the line of duty. Your menu today for Eisenhower Elementary School. For breakfast, you'll have cold cereal, mandarin oranges, grape juice, and milk. For lunch today, you'll have peanut butter and honey sandwich, pepper strips, baby carrots, potato chips, cookies, apples, and milk. For Norton Community High School and Junior High, your grab-and-go this morning will be Cook's Choice, fruit, juice, and milk, and your lunch today will be Cook's Choice, fruit, and milk. And for Northern Valley Schools, your breakfast this morning will be assorted muffins, sausage, fruit, juice, and assorted cold cereal, and your lunch today will be nachos with ground beef, salad, vegetable, and fruit. I'm Natalie Hadley. Your KQNK News was brought to you by Edward Jones Investments. Philip Eisenhagen is your financial advisor here in Norton. Your KQNK weather forecast for today. There's a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, it'll be mostly cloudy with a high near 73 and a west wind of 5 to 10 miles per hour becoming north in the afternoon. For tonight, there's a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms before 11 p.m. Otherwise, it'll be mostly cloudy with a low around 49 and a north wind of 5 to 10 miles per hour. On Thursday, should be mostly sunny with a high near 77. On Friday, sunny with a high near 85. On Saturday, sunny with a high near 81. On Sunday, there's a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms after 1 p.m. Should be mostly sunny with a high near 84 and breezy on Sunday. On Monday, a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Should be mostly sunny with a high near 82. And on Tuesday, a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Otherwise, mostly sunny with a high near 76. Currently, with mostly cloudy skies, it is 55 degrees. It is 7:21.
Day 1, diagnosis day. The hardest day. The day you hear,
"I'm sorry, this is a type of blood cancer.